Hello, you guys. So, this is a long awaited video. It was the request by one of my beloved fans and chat buddies, Miss Gentry, who sounds like an In the Heat of the Night character and kind of is because she's from Mississippi. No, I'm just kidding. Crystal Wilson Gentry requested this video because um, yeah, it's a health video, and I know quite a bit about herbal remedies, and she and a few other people have been struggling with some things. So I'm actually going to do a series of videos just sharing some um things that I've known to work for either people I know or myself or just research I've done. And if any of you listeners, because I'm hiding behind the screen on this one, so you're just gonna listen. Listeners, um, have any other suggestions? Feel free to drop them in the comment section because there are several ways that you can heal yourself naturally. That's one of the really good things about nature. There are so many different varieties of plants and um a lot of different approaches to address different ailments. So if one thing doesn't work for you, something else might. Okay, so this one's gonna be about ulcers, and I need to correct something I said. And I know Yolanda, who also is one of my beloved subscribers, I think she was asking or saying that she wasn't sure of the cause, but thought it could be excess acid, and I agreed. I made a mistake there. For some reason, I was thinking about acid reflux, and that's the excess acid. Ulcers most often, believe it or not, are caused by a bacterial infection. Now, you might have something else that causes the abrasion on your stomach. An ulcer is like a sore on your stomach lining. Um, but most often, there's a bacteria that infects your stomach lining and kind of, I guess you could say, eats away at it and causes that sore, which is the painful thing you experience. All your stomach acids flowing over it, which usually stomach acids are your friend. But if you got a sore, then you don't want to pour acid on it. And so that's the pain you typically feel. Um, I have not had an ulcer, although I was terrified thinking I might develop one because I remember drinking something. I think it was actually like some water that I had let sit out in a bottle for some hours, and it, I guess, like got in like there's bacteria everywhere, and I, for some reason, that it never happened again since, had never happened before, which is why I guess I didn't think anything of it. But um I came back and I was like, oh, I should finish this bottle of water. Now, I had heard that you have to be careful with plastic bottles of water because the bacteria can multiply. And this apparently happened. And eventually, maybe over the course of a day or two, I don't really remember how long it took, but my stomach developed like, it felt like like it was horribly sensitive. Eating was painful. It like kind of burned. Like I literally felt like I had a sore on my stomach, and everything was excruciating. And it's so strange because this has never happened to me. It had never happened to me before, but I don't even really remember this episode. I just remember being terrified that I would get an ulcer and that maybe it would increase my risk of like developing issues down the line, like cancer or something, if I didn't get under control. So I researched this bacteria, H oh, oops, let me look it up again. It's a weird name. Um, Heliobacter pylori. That's off the top of my head. I'm gonna correct myself in a sec. I just need to relook it up. But yeah, there's a bacteria that is common usually when people have ulcers, and that's not to say that you can't get a sore on your stomach from other means, like drugs or medicine or I don't know, other stuff. Stress aggravates ulcers. It generally doesn't cause it, although it could lower your immune system and make you more susceptible to that bacteria. But in my case, I had the contaminated, well, it was regular water, but like I left it, I guess, at room temperature or something. Like, I don't know, a condition where like the bacteria multiplied. Drank some, And next thing I know, my stomach lining is inflamed. So I do remember that I started researching things to do. That's how I came across the slippery elm, which I've recommended to a couple of you. That was the first thing that gave me relief, just so I could, like my stomach wasn't just like bothering me all the time. And I became able to drink and eat a little bit, but I had to take it easy. And I was really worried that like maybe the slippery elm wouldn't be enough, but honestly, with time, with taking it easy with probiotics. So I drink kefir. That's how I pronounce it. I don't know how other people pronounce it. I'll include links to all of this in the description. But I began, or before this even happened, I had a habit of drinking kefir, which is a highly fermented yogurt drink. And I know if you're lactose intolerant, or obviously if you have ulcers, you're like, no, I have to stay away from dairy. Let me say kefir might be your exception. It's very, very highly cultured with like at least 10 different strains of bacteria, very aggressive bacteria. If you leave a bottle out on your table and come back at the end of the day, it'll be swollen and it might like explode because of all the bacteria multiplying and letting off like a gas. So these are healthy bacteria. They will fight against the ulcer bacteria. So kefir actually helps with a lot of things, and it's a good thing to drink just for maintenance. So those of you who know that, well, yeah, you're here on the channel, you know that I travel. I have traveled a lot. Travel is one of my things. And kefir is actually something that it keeps me healthy stateside, and I try to find it every time I go somewhere else. Because it's actually an ancient kind of food slash remedy that a lot of cultures use or have used to combat stomach sickness and to just like remain healthy. So I can attest to it. I've like literally drank some at the first sign of food poisoning and been fine within an hour. And assuming it's a bacterial infection. Now with a virus, you're kind of screwed. So having said that, if you can try kefir, absolutely pick some up and try it. Start slow, and even if you don't have an ulcer, try an ounce of it because it's like actually very powerful and it will change your digestive system for the better, but you don't want it to happen all at once. You want it to be gradual. So drink an ounce of it at a time, like an ounce a day, and see how it or your stomach reacts. That was actually kind of an aside. I wanted to start by giving you some tips on how you can sort of maneuver food and drink and all that stuff, things you can do lifestyle wise to help you heal, because ulcers absolutely can heal. So, without further ado, um, with everything you're doing, you want to test it out first, even if it's something you've always eaten. Don't sit down and just have a whole meal, even if you're hungry. Obviously, you should, like, if you can, drink a lot of water and try to stay hydrated. Drink ginger tea if you can tolerate it. Ginger's really good and helps heal your stomach. And it's a powerful antimicrobial, which we want antimicrobials because, again, what are we attacking? That awful bacteria with the name that I'm gonna look up after I'm done with this. So, uh, yeah, just everything. Start slow. Even if you've been feeling okay for a while, like don't sit down and scarf down the whole meal. Just like have a little bit of it, see how your stomach reacts. If you're okay, have a little bit more, eat very slowly. You don't want to just like ingest a bunch of stuff that'll eventually cause maybe like half an hour cause you to be in grave pain, or irritate your stomach lining, trigger a reaction, or whatever the case may be. So eat wisely. So you don't want to do anything that's going to trigger your stomach acids to attack the lining of your stomach while it's trying to heal. So small meals more frequently is a good thing. Eat clean, eat fresh. Don't overeat because that'll cause discomfort. And like spread your meals out throughout the day. um now fiber is going to be your friend, protein, all of those denser foods, not like fatty dense, but like naturally dense foods like carrot sticks, celery, and I'm going to get to celery. That's really going to be your friend because it actually helps heal your stomach. You can do some whole grains maybe, but like just try to focus on natural things that are um kind of dense and fibrous and uh if you can get protein in, that's great as long as it's not irritating you. Um, so examples of high fiber foods, you want to get in your spinach, cabbage. Cabbage is another one I'm going to come back to because it's really good. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, basically all this stuff that some of you might find gross. I actually like a few of those. Hopefully you do too. Avoid things like anything processed. Avoid white flour, definitely avoid white sugar. If you're going to do something that's like a bread, make sure it's a whole grain and don't overdo it. Um, Unrefined, meaning, stuff that hasn't been bleached and processed and all that crap. Um, yeah, organic if you can, but definitely stick to your whole grains if you are going to try to do a bread or a cracker or something like that. But try to keep it plant-based if you can. And there are some good sources of protein like lentils and things too that you can get in. Um, if you, because meat might not be your friend depending on the nature of however your ulcers treating you. So in general, you may find that you have problems with milk because milk actually contains an acid. Wait, lactic acid? Wait, milk has an acid in it. Um, my brain is like all over the place. I'll come back to that in a second too. But milk and the calcium may aggravate your ulcer, while the protein in milk could be good for it. Those other two components um, could irritate you. So be careful with the milk other than yogurt. And if you're going to do a yogurt, do a high quality yogurt like the kefir. Maybe try out some Greek yogurt, see how it treats you. But you want fermented stuff that's cultured. That should be the only dairy that you're even trying to consume at this point. I hope none of you are drinking with ulcers. If you are, take it easy, but really you should stop because, like, how are you pouring alcohol on a whole sore on your stomach? You don't like how it feels, especially if you're, I don't know if this is a southern thing or not, but like, maybe your grandparent would put like alcohol to sterilize a scratch or like a sore or a wound and it burns like crap. That's what you're doing to your stomach. Don't do it. Um, Find something else to consume, like you could start juicing, that could be good for you. um and just pretend like you're getting alcohol for now, just like don't do it. um so if you smoke, don't smoke. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Just don't smoke. It's bad. It's not good for your ulcer. It increases stomach acid secretions. I know if you have like a smoking habit, it could be difficult to stop, but just know that it's not helping you. And this could be a good time to kind of wean yourself off or like cut down. Because it's really not helping you. And quite frankly, I think it's kind of dangerous. Because you have an open sore in your stomach, and like these things sometimes can not heal properly and turn become worse if we're doing other toxic things with our body while we're trying to heal. Um so manage your stress. If you need to like talk to a counselor, if you need to start meditating, if you need to start writing out your affirmations, honestly, I think we could all benefit from just like waking up early and taking 15 to 20 minutes every day to get our mind together. That's something I've been recommending to clients for like a couple years now. This year, I've actually gotten serious about doing it. I've done it off and on, whatever, like, oh, my schedule doesn't match up with me. Also, I'm not a morning person, but I've been forcing myself to wake up early, which I plan to do a video about. I'm generally up at like 3, and I try to go to bed early, wake up at about 3, because I know it takes me a while to wake up, and I will have morning time. I'll read a devotional and some scripture. I'll put together some positive thoughts to share with my followers and clients and people who, follow me on the business side. Um, and it really does help in terms of grounding yourself and not allowing stress to accumulate throughout the day, because you kind of have a clear objective and you're like, okay, this is what I can do. This is what I cannot do. This is what I will entertain. This is what I will not entertain. And I think like you need to just kind of like wake up and remind yourself, of who the F you are every day, because there are a lot of different things coming at you from different angles out in the world, and you can forget sometimes. So it's good to have that self time. Um Everyone needs therapy. I think every once in a while, speak to a counselor, like learn new ways to process daily life stressors, things like that. Anger and forgiveness, that's a separate video that I could do. Holding on to stuff, yeah, that'll aggravate your health if you've got issues, especially like with your stomach. We tend to hold tension in our stomach. I know I struggled with that. I would feel every negative emotion in my stomach growing up, and until actually right now I just realized that I don't entirely do that anymore. I've just become more mindful of it. Still happens sometimes, but it's much milder. But your stomach might clench, or it might feel disturbed or nervous. Be more mindful of that and work on it, and try to intercept stress before it reaches your body. Like, try to process it with your mind, and try to discard whatever's trivial and not worth your time, basically. Or if it is worth your time, like, come back, and when you're a little bit calmer, and then sort of strategize how you want to approach that area of stress in your life. Whatever you do, don't worry, because worry doesn't really help anything. Sometimes worry can make us feel like we're helping, or like we're doing something, when we feel helpless, or when maybe we don't want to take action. But worry is no substitute for action, so don't even do it. And that's going to take practice, stopping the worry. That's a whole other video I could get into. And I actually have, I just can't tell you the names of some of those videos, but they're there, probably on my motivation playlist, maybe on the productivity. Okay. So, on from the stress thing. I didn't think that would take too long to discuss, but hey. Um, so, and I'm reading notes here, which is another reason why I'm behind the screen. I think we can get into some remedies. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Remedies time. Okay. So here's what you want to eat, like more of it. Now, I jumped into this a little bit early because I love food, but yeah, now it's time. So here we go. I have the name of that bacteria in front of me. It's the H. pylori. I wasn't sure of how to pronounce it, and not even sure if that's correct. But H. pylori, if you want to look it up, that is the bacteria that actually causes ulcers, they eat away at your stomach. It's really gross. And that's what we're trying to kill. That's what we're trying to neutralize. So, without further ado, here's what I recommend you eat. And then after this, I'm going to give you some substances. No substances, supplements to help you. So number one, bananas are good because a lot of foods have antibacterial properties, particularly a lot of tropical foods, because there are all kinds of pathogens in the tropics because of the warm, moist air. So a lot of the spices and herbs and fruits and things have those natural properties built in, like coconut and coconut oil, for example. Bananas inhibit the growth of H. pylori, the ulcer causing bacteria. And if you increase your intake of bananas, you'll be reinforcing your stomach wall. There are actual studies that show that in animals that eat lots of bananas, they tend to have a thicker stomach wall and produce more mucus. Mucus sounds gross, but honestly, in this situation, you need anything thick and gooey to coat that sore while it heals. So you want to eat bananas for the mucus production. No, there are some foods that produce bad mucus. Don't mix this up with that. Bananas are good. They produce a coat of mucus that protects your stomach. Uh so yeah, bananas are good. They'll protect your stomach wall. They'll help you increase mucus production. And that'll also, I lost my place in case you can't tell. That'll also build a barrier between the digestive acids and the lining of your stomach, which is basically a buffer. Because your stomach is going to produce acids because it needs to do that to help you break down things, to help destroy bad things like if you consume some bacteria or like a bug or something. Your stomach acids are there to help you for that. But right now, too much of that is a bad thing for the ulcer. So you need foods that help your stomach produce a barrier. um Bananas and plantains, they're your friends. Cabbage is also good. Now if you're a juicer, you can juice a quart of raw cabbage juice every day. Drink this stuff. So these foods, I want you to do them on an empty stomach, or I mean your stomach is probably empty often if you have an ulcer or any type of stomach irritation. um so like be sure that you're like, if you're doing the juices, do them on an empty stomach. The idea is that you want them to come directly in contact with that ulcer sore and those nasty bacteria things that are causing you problems. So juice, a quart of cabbage juice, drink it. You may be able to mix something, I don't know, like an apple juice or something to kind of give it a bit of a better flavor. um but you want to do that, and studies show that raw cabbage juice has been shown to heal ulcers in as little as 5 days if you're really on top of it. I don't know if those will be your results, but just know that it's possible. May take longer, may not. Know that it's probably going to be difficult to drink cabbage juice, because who does that? If you don't like the juice, you can also eat plain cabbage. Eat it on an empty stomach, coleslaw. Although I don't know about coleslaw, because like there's mayo and stuff that's probably not good. But just like get creative with your cabbage. You can throw some in a salad or whatever. Um, as you're eating your other leafy greens, and it'll definitely help your stomach. Plums are fruits that have been shown to inhibit the growth of the ulcer bacteria. So have berries. So if you're gonna do a fruit, do a berry. Berries are really good for a variety of different diets as well. Because they're lower in sugar, they have antioxidants. Some of them are kind of superfoods, and apparently they fight H. pylori. So plums, berries, all good fruit. Um, so now I think we're gonna get more into the garlic. Sorry, one more. Garlic is amazing at like garlic is like nature's antibiotic. One of them. There are a few different things that I know of that work as antibiotics. Garlic is highly potent, so be careful with it. But if you can take two small crushed cloves a day, you might need to like mix the cloves in something, maybe like olive oil, or I don't even know if that'll, yeah, just like dilute the garlic. Maybe you want to like make a beverage, maybe mix it in your cabbage juice or something. Point being, do not, maybe I don't know, maybe this could be helpful, but I've definitely done this, and I'm going to tell you how it feels and let you be the judge. Because some people like myself, if I know that it'll help, I might just like do it. um but garlic is going to burn if you just straight up eat a garlic clove. It's going to burn. That's why I say you should mix it in with something like an oil, might kind of coat it and take the burn away. Definitely drink down at least 8 ounces of water immediately. um I've heard of people making it into a tea. You could put it on your salad. That'll kind of shield your stomach a little bit, because garlic really does burn. You can take garlic pills too. I've used the Kyolic brand. um I think the brand is called Kyolic. Or I know that there's Kyolic garlic, but I think the brand is also called Kyolic, and there's a line of Kyolic products, all garlic based. But just look up, I'm a fan of Amazon for this. Look up garlic supplements and read the reviews. Whatever people are saying works for them, do it. Or you can just take two cloves a day and mix them with whatever you can think of that's not going to aggravate your ulcer. And or try to do it straight, whatever, um and they will actually fight the bacteria and eradicate them, because garlic is like swallowing a nuclear bomb. So on that note, um I just an aside, I've done the garlic thing for food poisoning. I've done it for like if I feel like I'm getting a cold, like any type of infection or flu or whatever. I That's when I reach for the garlic. And sometimes I'm really bold about it and will just like I'll chew the clove up or like mince it if you've got like a food processor or something like that. It's better to do it that way because chewing the clove will burn your mouth. Listen, don't judge me for the things I've done. Um, but it certainly helps. So, if you need to take a spoonful of chopped garlic, do it, whatever. Um, and honestly, one more thing about the garlic. If you chop it up, and then just like put it in a spoon and try to swallow it down, that'll be a little bit better on you. You can probably do that with like a glass of water. Don't please don't be angry with me if you I'm just giving you some ideas to try. I don't know how your ulcer behaves or the size of it. It could burn, it could not burn. You'll probably be okay if you do it with a glass of water, and it'll probably be very potent when it reaches the bacteria down there. But do know that like I don't know how it's going to feel, so that's why I say try things. Try a limited version of things first, and if it seems okay, then do the full thing. Okay, so another one, cayenne pepper is an amazing spice used in a lot of homeopathic treatments. Cayenne will exacerbate whatever you're taking. So cayenne and garlic is going to make garlic even more garlicky. Cayenne and cinnamon, so cinnamon is good for like blood sugar, things like that. Cayenne pepper is like it supercharges some of the things you do. And peppers in general also have antibacterial properties as well. It's one of the, like the hotness, the heat in peppers actually does kind of kill things, the bad things. So, very moderately, you might want to do some cayenne pepper, um, mix it in some hot water or like a tea, or add it to your soups if you're doing cabbage soup. So if you're doing like a cabbage soup, throw in a little bit of cayenne pepper, like a fourth of a teaspoon. If you're having some other dish, sprinkle on a little bit because it's only going to help you and the bacteria won't like it. So licorice is good, but licorice supplements, because most licorice candies don't have enough licorice to help you. In this case, licorice is a stomach herb, and so just like get some licorice supplements if that's your speed. I did take licorice when I had that stomach infection, now that I think about it, and it may very well be what eliminated it. I'm kind of all over the place, so I don't know if I finished that story. I eliminated that stomach infection in about 4 days probably. I didn't even know that it was gone. I was just not eating because I was afraid to eat. And then one day I had some food and realized that I was totally fine. So I would say like maybe 4 days it took to get rid of it. But I'm not trying to convince you that that was like a full-on ulcer. I don't know like what yeah, I don't know, like if I had let it linger or just didn't know what to do about it, maybe it would have gotten worse because it was really bad. Um, but I immediately started treating it, and it got better in a few days. So, although it didn't feel like a few days. So, licorice pills are good. Get the ones that don't have what is that stuff called? There's like there it's not even there. Yeah, I'm gonna put a note about the acid. There's like an acid thing in licorice, and I think it's an acid. It starts with a G. Again, it's another long word that I forgot how to pronounce because I don't come across it every day. But I will include a link to a licorice supplement, and I'll make sure it doesn't have that, but I'll also like spell out the thing that you don't want it to have. Because taking too much of that one thing can be bad, but you'd have to take a lot of licorice, and now they make supplements without it. So you'll know what I'm talking about when you read the description. Clearly yeah, this video is kind of impromptu even though I've like had it stored in my head for some days now. Um Work with me, people. I'm really like trying to pull myself together. I've been so tired and working and all this other stuff. But back to you guys and your ulcer. So, slippery elm bark comes from the bark of a tree. A couple of you are already on it. What you want to do with that, you want to take that 3 times a day. Don't just take it when you start to have pain. Don't just take it once. Take it 3 times a day. The reason for that is it takes a while for slippery elm to coat your stomach, to turn to like a gel and coat your stomach. So you know, you want to have something in there, you know, throughout the day that's covering and kind of soothing your stomach. It's almost like an aloe vera, like it soothes, but it's like a thick kind of gooey consistency that will stick to your ulcer, like cover it, stick to your stomach lining, and give you some protection. And so you want to take that stuff 3 times a day. I was pounding those pills, like taking at least 4 at a time. Um, and just like when not whenever I would think of it, but like definitely twice a day I would probably say I did it, 4 pills at a time at least. It's not a medicine per se. It's really just like tree bark um that's been ground into a powder, and once it, you know, mixes with moisture in your body, it coats your stomach. So you're not going to overdose on it. All it's going to do is keep you coated throughout the day. If you want to keep that relief going and you don't want to have to wait for it to work, you know, if you're taking it sporadically or whatever, just like pop it periodically throughout the day so that you'll always have something on your stomach to kind of be that barrier between food and drink and all of that stuff, and to kind of, you know, like a nice ointment that will soothe the sore on your stomach. So, minerals, these are kind of new to me. I just like researched them. Bismuth salts, um, they're antibacterial and can be effective against the Heliobacter pylori. That's the whole word. Helicobacter, Helicobacter pylori, H. pylori for short, which is the arch enemy right now. And an ingredient in pharmaceuticals, but in over the counter drugs. Like I think, does Pepto Bismol have bismuth? It sounds like it. I think so. But just go for the bismuth salts. Get this stuff off Amazon, your health food store, Whole Foods. And you can take them and they'll help fight the bacterium. Um I think that is the end of my list. You can also drink licorice tea. So if you don't want to take a licorice pill, or if you feel like you're pilled out after all the slippery elm, you could drink a licorice tea if you can tolerate warm substances. Oh, I have one more. So nopal cactus from the southwest in Mexico, present day Mexico, that will get you right. It is an ancient Mexican remedy that they used to use and probably still do for ulcers. So it can be, now they do make nopal water, which is like the juice from the cactus that you can get, but it's been shipped to your part of the country unless you're like in the southwest or Mexico. It's not fresh, and so I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I did some looking into things, and you can actually get the cactus ground into powder, and you can add it to drinks and stuff, and that has been shown to heal ulcers as well. So the idea is similar to some of this other stuff. You drink it, probably best to do it on an empty stomach. The healing properties of the cactus will coat the ulcer, fight the bacteria, and eventually your stomach lining will start to heal and regenerate, and then no more ulcer. So, that's like a Mexican remedy that I don't think we really hear about much. Um, I believe I did the nopal water when I had my stomach infection that I was dealing with, and that probably contributed to my fast healing as well. You can find it definitely at Whole Foods, definitely at GNC. Honestly, it's about $5 just for like a liter of that stuff. But I would go with the powder, which you can order off of Amazon. And speaking of which, I will be including links to all this stuff, which is another reason it's taking me so long to do this video. And I am an Amazon affiliate, as you may or may not have heard in some of my other videos. So please help me help you by ordering through my links so I can get a small commission off of each of your purchases, and all of your money doesn't go to why can't I remember the dude's name? That's how you know I'm tired. Oh, Bezos, Jeff Bezos. Yeah. Instead of him getting all your money, I'll get like 10% of it or something. So on that note, I'm going to end this video. Um And as I find, actually, you know what? I'm going to end this video. I'm going to continue with the series on natural remedies though. Um, and yeah, I have like so many backlog videos I need to upload, so you'll be seeing those. If you like this video, please click like, please share, please tell your friends, your family members, your elders who have these health issues, and may benefit from them. I really enjoy helping people. Um, so yeah, I hope this helps you. Again, if you got any other questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments. I will see you in the next video. Till then, or maybe I won't see you. You might hear me, but just pretend I'm looking at you. So anyway, till then, take care and be well, and I will see you soon. Bye now.